Hey guys, it's Winterwolf and welcome back to another speed build for today. Today we are building a modern farmhouse, but it's a starter home. So I believe this house ends up being between 20 and 21k. So if you have 2 Sims, you'll definitely be able to afford it. If you have only 1 Sim, you might be able to afford it depending on what lot you put it on. And then also you guys can delete some items as you see necessary for whatever type of Sim you have and how much money you have in the game. But yeah, so the reason I've done this as a starter home is I realized that farmhouses are very, very popular within the Sims community. They're some of my most popular builds on YouTube and some of my most popular builds on the gallery. And obviously a lot of Simmers make it. Dr. Ashley makes a lot of farmhousey type modern farmhouses. And I know that Layla Simsy also makes a lot of farmhouse type houses. They're really pretty. They're definitely popular in real life today as well. You'll see like HGTV shows make a bunch of farmhouses that are sort of modern, and so I wanted to do that today. And I realized that there's not that many starter home farmhouses. I suggest that the reason for that is because farmhouses are very expensive to make in The Sims 4. I mean, the kitchens cost so much money, and I think some of the most important parts about a farmhouse is their beautiful kitchens. They usually have these massive kitchens with these beautiful industrial like farmhouse counters, and obviously counters are very expensive in The Sims 4, so therefore farmhouses tend to be expensive because of that as well. And then of course there's other things like decor and all that kind of stuff, but this is a starter home, so we were limited to that. I did end up spending a significant amount of my money on the kitchen, so if you guys find that this house is too expensive for you to download as a starter, I highly suggest you download it anyways and then just delete some counters, because I've added a lot of unnecessary counters for the sole reason of having a nice kitchen, and you guys don't need a nice kitchen in a starter home. So that's the reason why the rest of the house is bare, 1, and 2, why it's slightly over 20k. Yeah, I mean, you'll see in a minute that the kitchen is by far the best room in this house, simply because it actually has nice counters. I didn't use the cheap counters. I didn't even use the cheap appliances. I used the cheap stove, but I didn't use the cheap fridge, mostly because I hate the way the cheap fridge looks. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and you can quite literally tell that it's a cheap fridge, whereas I feel like the cheap stove is less like it's not as noticeable, I guess would be my phrasing. So yeah. Oh, this is also a limited pack build. Forgot to mention that. It's a limited pack build. I believe it only uses Snowy Escape, Seasons, Cats and Dogs, and I think it uses Eco Lifestyle, just the roofing is from Eco Lifestyle, but there is a base game sheet metal roofing, so if you guys don't have Eco Lifestyle, you can definitely still download this build. I think when I was building this, I didn't think I used Eco Lifestyle, so I tried very hard to avoid it. Had I known that I used it on the roof, I probably would have used Eco Lifestyle items instead, because Eco Lifestyle has such cheap items. A lot of the newer packs have very cheap items. I think EA has been listening to a lot of complaints from Simmers about the packs just having super weird pricing for items. I mean, like a toilet paper roll is like, what, 50 simoleons or 60? Or something like that, and then like these really nice couches are like 50 simoleons. It's kind of weird. So I think they've kind of been editing out the pricing of items a little bit more to make them cheaper. I don't really know why they're doing that, because I think it's more difficult when items are more expensive, but nonetheless it's fine. So I use this really nice bed that's base game because it has sort of this like country vibe to it. You can see with the headboard, and I just liked the texture of the wood. I really like the texture of the light wood one, but I didn't like the pattern of the comforter on it, so I decided to opt for this sort of gray one instead, which is less interesting to me in terms of being farmhousey, but I just could not stand any of the other patterns on the comforters. I really wish there was a way to like pick one and then have the other, which is something that's really great about CC, because obviously headboards are separate to the actual bed. It'd be really interesting to see if that The Sims could ever like remake that sort of thing, you know? That would be nice at some point, maybe in like a base game update, you know? That'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of going on right now, by the way. The new, what are they called? The new Sims 4 kits have just come to light. I don't think they're out yet. I don't know when they're coming out either, but there's been a lot of controversy about them. I had actually commented on Twitter, and I think if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw me post about this, but I commented on Twitter, and I was responding to someone's comment. She was complaining about the packs, and I said I'm actually kind of excited, and I think people forget that, some items are worth it to some consumers and to other people it will be not so worth it. And she plainly said to me, "You are part of the problem then, because you're not understanding why people are upset. Have fun spending mommy and daddy's money." First of all, to that I say, I don't spend my mom and dad's money on my packs. I've bought every single pack on my own. And secondly, to that I say, there is no need to get rude about an opinion over a video game. So, amongst everything, I just want to make this point now. Please do not let EA's controversial opinions cause toxicity within the Sims 4 community. The reason I'm saying this is because we've seen this sort of thing happen before. When Eco Lifestyle came out, there was a lot of controversy. A lot of players were arguing with each other. They were being very rude to each other. We've also seen it with during Tibet 2. A lot of people had very opinionated thoughts on it, and so people who were excited for it got a lot of hate. People who really hated it were getting a lot of hate as well, or usually I think more so causing the hate, the ones that were being rude at least. So please be mindful of what you guys say to each other, because ultimately the Sims 4 community is supposed to be something positive and something where people are having fun with each other and sharing their Sims 4 stories. So it's really annoying when people are going to get angry and yell at you for some opinion about a pack, and nonetheless. So in the comments down below, if you guys have an opinion about the kits and are nice and respectful, I will be glad to hear you guys' opinions. Personally, I'm not that upset with them. They kind of remind me of like the Sims 3 store, which I think a lot of people were angry at back then as well. However, I didn't mind because it just feels like extra content to me. Like it feels like extra content. Can I speak, please? Okay. It feels like extra content, and it's something that, like, if Simmers want, they can have, and then if they don't want, then they don't need to have it, type of thing. Personally, I think I might buy a couple of them. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at the ones that they just showed. But the problem is that usually when I build, I'm building for you guys. So I know that a lot of you guys probably won't end up buying these packs. I feel like a lot of you guys won't end up buying these packs, at least assuming they cost money, which this hasn't even been decided yet because there wasn't a price listed on the recent announcement for them. So no one knows if they're actually worth money or if they're going to be like free base game update type things. Given the fact that they're being called kits, I'm not sure that they're going to be free. I'd be happy if they were free, but I doubt it. Although I actually maybe wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure. What's your guys' opinion? Do you guys think these are going to be worth a lot of money or not? Because the items are very limited in the packs, it seems. There's very few items in all of them. But yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing that they're adding a new pack type, and I'm curious as to why they're adding a new pack type. A lot of people have been complaining for a long time that EA doesn't listen to the community, and I would say that that's been true in the past, and I'd also say that seems to be changing recently because you can see there's been a lot of updates to base game. Platforms were added, sliders were added, albeit sliders should have been added a long time ago, but they were indeed added at one point. A lot of the new packs have had better items and more items. Say, for example, you compare the first stuff pack with the most recent stuff pack. So the first stuff pack that was ever made was luxury party stuff, and the most recent pack that was ever made, I think, was Tiny Living? No, Supernatural. I don't have Supernatural, but I'm going to compare it to Tiny Living because Tiny Living is a pack that I actually have, and Tiny Living has so many items and new gameplay features, whereas luxury party stuff, for example, has almost nothing. And you can even see that with the second stuff pack, perfect patio stuff, almost nothing. So they've really changed and increased their items over time, and their packs have become significantly better from when they first started. Items are higher quality, there's more textures on them, there's more items in general, and more gameplay is being added with each pack. So I think that EA is improving. I think they have been slowly but surely improving. And so I'm hoping that these new packs they're coming out with are a response to something that's been asked for. But even if it isn't, I do admit that I don't mind the fact that they're there for the time being. Maybe when they come out and I actually see what they're like, I might change my mind. But just based off of the initial, announcement of them, I'm not that angry that they're there. But yeah, I've basically spent my entire video ranting about those kits. Anyways, so this is all debug landscaping, by the way, if you guys can't tell. I don't know if I mentioned that. This is my third time doing this voiceover because I messed up the earlier times. But yeah, so all of this is debug landscaping. I don't think you need to have the debug cheat when you download this. You just need to have move objects on, mostly because sometimes items disappear if you don't have move object on when you download the build. And further, this does use platforms, and I know that platforms have been kind of glitchy on the gallery. Hopefully you guys don't encounter any issues, but if you do, basically the front porch and the back porch and all of the rooms are one platform higher than the level of the ground, than the ground level, and that's just because the porch is obviously one level up, so all of the indoor rooms also had to be one level up so that there's no like floating doors or anything like that. I really hate when doors are floating. So yeah, I just bring all of the flooring up one. So if you guys find that the platforms have disappeared or they're like wonky now, that should be an easy fix because you literally just have to bring everything up one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go because there's only a minute left to this video. I hope you guys like this build. As always, if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I also want to mention that I really like making custom builds for you guys. I've made custom builds in the past on the down low because most of the times people, when they ask me, they don't want me to mention them on my YouTube videos, so I don't actually tell people that it's a custom build. So if you guys want me to make a custom build for your Sims family or just something in general, maybe you're doing I don't know what you're doing, but if you guys want to build, I will be glad to make it. You guys don't have to be like social media people. You can just be regular simmers who want to build. And if you want to build, you can always DM me on Instagram. You can email me. You could comment on YouTube if you don't mind everyone seeing you ask for a build. I know some people are a little bit more quiet and they don't like, I don't know. I'm like that too. I've never liked commenting on things because I just don't want people to see my comments. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't think that does. But anyways, if you guys want me to make a build for you guys, you can contact me any way you want to, and I'll do it for you guys for free. Of course, I'm not going to charge you guys for anything for making builds. I will make that into a YouTube video, but that's it for the most part. So yeah, anyways, as always, if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like me and be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that button. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you.